this message. It's called The Bridge, an analogy of prayer. Walking across the bridge one day, I saw someone motioning and calling for me to come sit with him a while. During that short journey, I noticed he had such a pleasant smile. I took my seat alongside him when he suddenly asked, "How are you doing?" So I responded my everyday casualness, just how fine everything's going. He turned his eyes from mine, though smiling still, and said, "That's great. Now then, how are you doing?" Well, being a bit stymied to the very searching reply, I knew exactly what he meant, and so answering him this I would not deny. During the time I took to consider exactly how am I doing, I glanced down at his hands and saw those awful scars. Therefore I knew I could confide in him about my private wars. I poured out my heart and made all my fears known, returning his gaze to enjoin with mine, and while his love was being shown, my hurts and pains were dispersing, and peace had already grown. He said, "Now, my friend, since you poured out your heart to me, please give me an opportunity to pour my heart out to you." I sat there nodding for him to continue, and he then said, "It's been so good to have you sit with me and tell of your heart's sad songs, and to see you acknowledge that they have lasted not so very long. I pleasantly consider that you did not get up and leave, as many have before, wondering, why would he ask that question once more? Well, now, as strange as all this may seem, I ask you again, how are you doing?" My answer was one of sorrow, that many times I'd crossed the bridge and never said hello. And though the regret when others with me, who would simply pass by, not even caring whether he or we need to have him hear from us, our problems to be sharing. As I confessed these sins and I received of him forgiveness, an excitement welled up from deep within. Not only was I forgiven, but I could leave and live separated from the power of sin. So before he could ask again, I spilled forth my heart's fresh found joys, and his eyes sparkled as a child with a newly purchased toy. He slapped his knee and threw his arm around my shoulder. He then prayed, "Father, may his faith always be bolstered." He stood up and said, "It is time, my friend, to cross again the bridge. There are multitudes of others that need to know that I am here to ask as many times as is necessary. How are you doing?"